Back in 2013, when Starbucks first opened in Mumbai, there were serpentine queues outside this very outlet. Today, it's almost 10 years and Starbucks is celebrating their 10 years right here in Mumbai, and I'm in conversation then with Sushant, who is the CEO of Tata Starbucks, as well as Michael Conway, who is the Group President International and Channel Development at Starbucks. And today it's not Starbucks, it's Starbucks Reserve, so there's been a complete overhaul of that brand. I just want to understand what the last 10 years have been like in India. Michael.
Well, first of all, great to be here on such an incredible occasion. And 10 years ago, when we first set out to start here in India, it was important for us to find the right partner. And so I start there. Tata is the perfect partner for us. Whenever we enter new markets, we look for partners that share our values, that have shared aspirations, and certainly Tata has been that for us over the last 10 years. And our journey has been about trying to build the coffee culture here, to introduce the Indian customer to coffee, to help them enjoy and connect over coffee. And to think about where we are today with this Reserve store, I think speaks to the journey that we've been on and how we're beginning to actually introduce and elevate coffee here over the last 10 years. So it's been a great journey, and there's more opportunity for us ahead.
Sushant, just to understand it more from a business angle as to how India has really performed in terms of the kind of business that it's generated, how, you know, particular geographies within India as well have done, if you could just walk us through that.
Sure. But before I do that, welcome to the first Reserve store.
Thank you.
Great to have you on the 10th year. So as you said, it's been an incredible journey, 10 years. I think what I would say we are most proud of is bringing the Starbucks experience to India, and the number of consumers that we touch on an everyday basis. We serve nearly 330,000 consumers a week. Today we are more than 300 stores. We are available not just in the metros. I think that's been one of our main pillars over the last 18 months. We are now there in 35 cities across the country. So yes, I would say that business, we have grown, and we have grown incredibly fast. So that's been the hallmark of the 10 years.
And you know, given the fact that we have seen coffee prices as well have corrected quite significantly, has that impacted or benefited, you know, business in any way?
So, you know, coffee, we have seen 7 to 8% inflation on coffee. For us, what is more important is to provide the right value to the consumers and to give them the right experience in terms of what we want. We keep a lookout in terms of inflation and in terms of where it is going. So we'll keep a watch on that and see what we need to do. But I think for us, the focus has always been about the consumer and about giving them the right experience.
You know, speaking of the consumer experience, Michael, if you could elaborate a little bit more about, you know, Starbucks Reserve, because that's a fairly new concept for us back home. So what exactly does it entail?
Well, for Starbucks, it starts with coffee. It's all about coffee. And for us, the Starbucks Reserve is an opportunity for us to explore our craft, to elevate coffee even more. So around the world, we have Reserve stores, and it's an opportunity for us to take coffee and to find the best and most unique coffee lots. And then we use our craft to push the edge, to roast it in different ways, to create new flavors, new experiences. And then we brew it. You can see here lots of different brew methods. And at the end of the day, it's all about exploration for the customer and for them to enjoy and experience. And I couldn't think of a better way in our 10 years to actually be right here at our first store and to have this be a Reserve store, because I think the customers here in India are ready. They're ready to explore and to experience a new and a different and a higher level of coffee than even we've had here so far.
And customers were ready 10 years ago, as I said as well, Sushant, with those serpentine queues outside. So how have footfalls been of late? If you could just walk us through what the average spend is per consumer. Has that now increased? So
post-COVID, I think the numbers have been good. Last year, we closed at a growth rate of around 76%. Our Q1 results where again we saw a growth of 100+%. So the recovery and the footfall, we have seen sequential growth quarter on quarter. So that's good. We have grown quite a bit in terms of the numbers post-COVID. In terms of average ticket size, we have seen growth, and that has come on the back of multiple innovations that we have done, be it in terms of a food program, be it in terms of the drinks that we have launched, in terms of limited time offers, be it launching of vegan, be it the bacon that we have launched for the first time in Mumbai. So I think those are some of the things that have driven our ticket sizes, and they have increased.
So for the standalone Starbucks outlets, are you enjoying profitability now? Are you on the verge of breaking even, or has that happened?
We have been cash profit, and we continue to be cash profit. So yeah.
You know, you flagged off inflation, and that's the reason I'm bringing it up. Has that in any way, and then there was the impact of a black swan event like the pandemic, but how were revenues impacted then, and have you gone back to pre-COVID levels now, and the inflation impact?
So in terms of pandemic did affect us, but as I keep saying, it also taught us a lot of good things. We did a lot of things which will help us to take the business forward. For example, delivery being one of them. I think both in terms of consumer behavior, in terms of even our learning. In terms of post-pandemic, as I said, our business has grown sequentially. We are ahead of our pre-pandemic numbers in terms of top line. So that's the good news. In terms of inflation, inflation has been a reality. That's a reality across all segments, and that's something that's true for us also. We have seen inflation to the extent of 9 to 10%, which is what.
So will you be cutting prices?
we will keep evaluating, and as I said, for us it's, and I've always said this, I think, and that's true for the Indian consumer also. It's about the value that you give, and it's the total package in terms of the product, the experience. So we'll keep evaluating that.
And Michael, you know, how big does India, you know, where does India feature in terms of the total pie of Starbucks' total revenues, and what's the long-term India plan in terms of growth and strategy?
Well, certainly at 300 stores, India is becoming a bigger part of our total international revenue and portfolio. But as we look at where India is today, the coffee consumption is still in the early phases. If you look at per capita consumption relative to other markets, I would say it's more of a tea culture, we know, than a coffee culture. I know you like tea as well. But what we're seeing is over the last 5 years, the coffee consumption has grown significantly, and that gives us a lot of confidence. And as we think to the future, we know that there'll be even more coffee as we do things like introduce reserve stores, start to elevate coffee, and it will continue to be a big part of our portfolio, and we have exciting and optimistic vision for what's future.
Would you be able to elaborate in terms of the percentage of the total revenues, how much India would contribute right now?
No, well, I can't give the precise figures, but certainly at 300 stores, that is meaningful for us. Really, any market over 100 stores is fairly significant for us. So at 300 and accelerating, it certainly is a meaningful part of the portfolio.
Sushant, what about the competition? Because there are so many, you know, a lot of new names as well cropping up. Does that worry Starbucks, or how do you plan to deal with or take on competition?
I think competition just shows that the market is growing and that everyone sees the potential. So some way it is actually an indication that we are on the right track, and the potential of this market is much more than what we currently see. Competition is good. We are a large country, so to my mind, it will only help us to accelerate the category growth. And as far as we are concerned, it's more about doing the right things, things that we have been doing well, to continue doing them consistently. As long as we keep true to what is core to us, and we continue to give the right kind of experience and create the coffee culture and continue to innovate, I think we're in a good place.
Thank you so much, both Michael as well as Sushant, for joining me and giving us a view, and cheers to the next 10 years in India.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.